Hey, what's going on, ladies and DeGents? Welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Distinguished DeGents podcast, your one and many homes of degenerate gambling. I'm one half of the Distinguished DeGents. I am Steve. Big Bucks, a beta. Not really feeling like big bucks, but joining me as always, it is my co-host, my partner in gambling. He's back. Welcome the one and only Jason Monty Mansman. No longer the guy on the right. No longer ... It's Money Man.
No longer the Iceman.
No longer the Iceman. Buddy, how is it going? How does it feel to be back? Tell us all about your gambling stories from last weekend. Tell me how you redeemed yourself.
Oh yes, it was a wonderful week. For the first time in ever, after losing like 6 straight bets, perfect on the 1 o'clock games against the spread. I hit every. Funny enough, Denver Giants was the only game I missed 4 o'clock. I hit all my bets in 4 o'clock.
Wow.
I hit the Sunday night game. I had a very good Sunday last weekend, was up, a ton of units, 20, 30 units. So I went back to, it was a good week. It was a very good week.
God,
thank you.
Round of applause.
Yeah, I had a very good Sunday to get back into the black, and boy, they didn't make it easy. That's a tough follow-up week, buddy.
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to be an interesting week. This is, depending on who you are, like, I would say, you know, this is Bye-Mageddon if you're like a big fantasy, which we both are. Like, we're both into fantasy football. This is like Bye-Mageddon. It's Bye-Mageddon if you're like a contest player. Like, God, you only have 13 games to really choose from. 12, maybe 10, depending on how your contest is set up. You have to make 5 picks, like, trying to get them right. Like, that's tough. And then you just look at these games, and it's like a lot of non-conference games. It's a couple weird division games at that, where like the spots doesn't seem to make sense, and we're not sure what to do. And then it really is like, this is the kind of week where I feel like most NFL fans, most casual fans kind of like dread this week. But I think if like you're a sharp bettor, these are the kind of games like you rake money in. Like, this is the couple podcasts I've listened to, like some of them are thinking like just ride with Vegas, because they're really getting sharper with the numbers this week, it seems like. And they really are dead set on some of these lines. And some of the sharps are kind of like, this could just be a dog weekend. Like, maybe this is just some wild, fluky, witchy shit. And unfortunately, like, I kind of thought that would be last week. And just to give you really bad woes, God, Monday night did not save me whatsoever. I went over on all my bets, so I'm down 7.5 units from last week. Yeah, Ouch. Not what you want. Didn't really even get a good start on Thursday night. I hit 2 props though. The Herbert interception prop at plus money, that was nice. Herbert over 276.5 on passing rushing yards, that came through. So like, minimize the damage. I'm only down 10.5 units so far since Monday, but this week, like, we only have 12 games. I really got to rake it in. I really got to get it together here. So this is like, for me, this is like a prove it week. And really, it's a prove it for a lot of pro bettors. Like, these are the kind of games where, like, if you can get over 60% on these, especially with this kind of week, you're proving yourself here. So I think last week you proved yourself. You are indeed Money Mansman. This is the kind of week we got to prove it to ourselves once again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a tough week. I'm not even thinking of this week as like competitive so much. I want to hear what you have to say, because some of these games I'm all over the place in terms of what I'm thinking, what I want to do. The lines are really, they feel very sharp, very polarizing. So it's going to be tough, man. It's going to be tough to win this week.
God, it's going to be bad. And I'm probably going to fuck up this score, but like, I do feel like we need to recap on this, because I had the total, I was telling you off air, I just had the total wrong read, all my bets too, like total misses. And I don't know what I was thinking, so maybe you can give me some insight here, because you didn't even really know what to do with this. Thursday Night Football, Minnesota 10. I think the Chargers got 37. Might have fucked that score up. I really don't care because it really doesn't matter. Basically,
No, you got it.
Oh, good deal. Like, to me, it seemed like not that everything was really going right for Minnesota at first, but seemed like it was going to be a good game. And then they got the pick six.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like the minute that got called back, the fix was in, and Chargers were just going to steamroll this Minnesota Vikings defense, embarrass Brian Flores. I mean, and I've seen and again, like my dumbass, I bet on Carson Wentz one more time after I told myself I'm not doing it ever again. Bet on Carson Wentz, and he fucked me. I mean, he literally. It's crazy because he doesn't even sit in the pocket all that long, but he just cannot get rid of the ball in under 3 seconds. It seems like it has to be 1, 2, 3. Where most NFL quarterbacks now, it's under 2. And he's like, it's sad because 10 years ago, you would say he's like really good. He had the MVP run, but like time catches up, the game changes as much as it stays the same. I think this was the game Carson Wentz is washed. He's done.
Yeah, I think most sort of the underlying metrics agreed. These really felt like sort of two even teams, both maybe desperate for a win. And I thought the game was going to be close. That's why I hesitantly took the Vikings on the contest, but I told you it was a no play. I actually thought the over would hit, and it almost didn't, to tell you the truth. Just a weird game. And like you said, I think what had happened was just felt like that pick six sort of was the change in the game. And once that happened, the Chargers settled down and the Vikings just were like, oh, okay, we're not supposed to win this game. And it completely got away. Because, I thought it was going to be a close game. And it looked like maybe it was going to be.
Especially in that second half. I mean, the Vikings missed field goal. Vikings were driving, and then they had a penalty called back on third down, and then they had to I think they punted. Like, where I think instead of I think it was 21, where it was 21-3 in the half. Like, I think we were looking at least at like 21-10 at one point. And then just basically everything kept going wrong for Minnesota. Everything kept going right for the Chargers. Chargers kept getting the penalty calls for them. Vikings kept getting everything against them. And it was just kind of one of those games you watch it. And like I said, that interception, once it happened, you knew. Like, game script is flipped. Vikings are done. Should have live bet it. Didn't do it, but
yeah.
I feel like we're going to see some more of those games this week. But again, we got 2 minutes left, so we'll give a hot minute take. We have to talk about the donkey of the week, or should I say the donkeys of the week. Mr. Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier of the NBA, arrested and indicted by the FBI for illegal poker games, illegal gambling. Mansman, I don't know if you read the indictment that came out. Long story short, a lot of crazy, wild accusations about, especially with Chauncey Billups, poker room games, x-ray tables. La Costa Nostra is apparently, the mob is involved. And like, not to get political, but this just like, a lot of people, including Stephen A. Smith, kind of went on a wild tangent saying, this just seems like a big distraction. This just seems like they're coming after sports players now for having a voice. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't think that, honest to God, I don't really want to believe it, because me and you are bettors. Like, we do gambling, more of our side hobby, not professionally, but either way, we take this seriously. We know the kinds of environments this area develops. This did not seem all that shocking to me that these players were involved. I think just what shocked me was, number one, the amount of money that these players involved themselves in with the risk. And then number two, like, the amount of effort, according to this indictment, that these players involved themselves in to conduct this cheating scheme. and with Terry Rozier with the prop bets, which I mean, look, I told you I got tons of prop bets I want to play on NFL. I mean, the NBA just finds himself in another scandal. But I wanted to get your 2 cents on this.
Yeah, so I didn't read the indictments, and I heard a little bit about it, not a whole lot. It's unfortunate because if you don't have integrity and people feel like it's fixed, it's going to drive fans away from the game. And honestly, I think why we love betting so much is because it gives you an interest in all the NFL games. The difference between like the NFL and baseball is, baseball, I can like my team and watch my team every day, but I'm not watching all of the games every day if I'm not betting on it. Fantasy football, NFL betting makes it so that you literally have an interest in every single game, all year. And in terms of like some of the stuff, I mean, like you said, I don't find any allegations like surprising anymore, just because we know even outside of gambling. I mean, look at what happened in 2008. Look at the risky behaviors that Wall Street engaged in. And, look at crypto investing and look at whatever it is. There are always people with big money who are going to take risks and do shady deals. It's just a shame because the NBA, I mean, I think the NBA is really struggling because LeBron's getting up there in years. Kevin Durant's getting up there in years. It seemed like for a while the NBA had this weird resurgence. I mean, I remember, you probably don't remember it now because the NFL has games on Christmas. I remember a few years ago they were talking about, well, the NBA has Christmas and Christmas belongs to basketball. And the NFL is never going to put games on Christmas because they don't want to fight with the NBA. And it just seems like now the NBA, the last thing they need is another scandal. Some of the NBA finals have had declines in viewership recently. Just a shame. It's a shame. We'll see what happens in the courts, but
it's a shame because
it drags everyone down. Sports fans, gamblers. It's just a sad situation.
Yeah, and I think what makes it the most shameful is, and by the way, don't mind me, I'm just going to throw my charger in while I kind of go on this rant and then end it real quick so I can go do that. But basically, like, I think what makes it worse, like, Terry Rozier to me makes it worse. Like, Chauncey Billups being a coach, that's detrimental bad enough as it is. But the fact you're an NBA player, and I looked it up, $90 million contract.
Yeah.
At what point is it just not enough? Like, what activity do you get yourself in? And like, I'm just thinking like $90 million. And I looked it up like on the indictment. I had it up earlier. Allegedly, he had insider information. He was going to pull himself out of certain games. So these people just went to Vegas and threw like at least $300,000, if not more, on all the under props. They cashed it and then they laundered the money. Like, I'm just thinking, Terry was like, are you trying to get your boys money? Like, you have $90 million. Like, $300,000 out of 90 that's not something you can just give up. Like, that's something you had to cheat over. And like Chauncey Billups with the poker games, like, I don't know what his willingness was, but again, it's like, you're an NBA head coach. Like, you're not poor. With all the millions he made as a player too, it's like, at what point is it not enough? And that's what, like, I think pisses me off the most about this whole thing. Like, if it's true, I do want to say, if it's true, what is alleged. Like, that's what's the most shameful about it, in my eyes.
Yeah, it's tough. But, it's like a great beast. You got to feed the beast. And there are, I like to think we're distinguished because we know that, we know that there's a certain point where don't need to push the limit, but unfortunately, for some people, it's just you got to feed the beast, and the beast keeps growing, and you just need to feed it more and more, and eventually, when you can't feed it anymore, you get into trouble.
1-800-Gamblers. I mean, that's all I can say.
1-800-Gamblers, Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong, each week we talk about this, we give our takes. We joke. I don't even want to say we joke. Like, there's a part of me that, like, if it wasn't for the current climate, like, would I have put a mortgage bet on Denver last week? A mortgage payment bet, maybe, but that's if I had it. Like, that's the thing. I'm not literally throwing my house on the line to go wager a bet. And that's my point. Like, for me, what's enough is doing this, taking what my bankroll is and playing with that and having fun and like playing it with as units, not as my life.
Yeah.
I'd love to make this my life. Part of me would love to make this my life, but I'm just not there yet. And
it's what are you willing to risk? And I mean, there's a reason why the pros, I mean, when you look at pro bettors, are they mortgaging their houses for bets? I mean, don't get me wrong, they're betting 10, 20,000 a game, but they're professionals. And if you look at the professionals who are successful, do you see them going and betting their mortgages and betting, their entire bankrolls on one game? No, because they're professionals. What does that tell you?
No, so, I mean, we joke about one pro bettor, Steve Fezzik. I think it was his Villanova take. I can't remember. It was one of the college basketball fiascos where he made Purdue. It his bet of, Purdue, where it was his bet of the year, and just kept hammering it, and then he ended up losing a shit ton of money. But
you know what people don't. But you know what people don't hear is the end of the story. For that tournament, Steve Fezzik broke even.
Yeah.
He lost so much money on Purdue, but literally won a lot of the other bets and literally broke even, like pretty much broke even for the tournament. Yeah. That's what people don't hear. And that's why you have to be careful because, again, you watch these movies about gambling and you see these stories online about the person who hit it big with the parlay. And like I said, if you're not smart and you're not careful and you're not playing it smart, you're going to bet too much, you're going to lose, and then you're going to be one of the donkeys of the week. So don't be a donkey, folks.
No, sir. And then last point, I mean, know your bankroll. Know what risk you want to take. I lost 5 units on one game last week, but that was a risk I knew I could take. And it didn't kill my bankroll. Like, I guess the point of this is, number one, like, if you're going to gamble, be smart about it at the end of the day. That's what we're saying. Be smart.
Yeah.
Don't be a donkey. Okay. Yeah. 12 games, NFL, week 8. We have our best bets to give out. We have our dogs of the week, fades of the week. We have our best over-under plays. And additionally, we're going to have some prop plays for some of these games for you guys. Mr. Money Mansman, Mr. 20-unit Money Mansman, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Here, you know what? Very well.
The bills make me wanna kick your heels up and throw your hands up and throw your head back and come on now. The bills are making it happen now.
We're kicking it off in Bank of America Stadium, Charlotte, North Carolina, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Odds are subject to change. We're going to go through Bet365 today. The Buffalo Bills, 4-2, coming off of the bye, traveling to Carolina. They're 7-point favorites, -390 on the money line. Panthers are 3-1 underdog. Total is 46.5. Mansman, it's your team. I usually give you the honors and the privilege. However, if you wish to defer, you may.
What can you say? Two ugly losses. Bills coming off the bye. Sean McDermott is very good off the bye. Can you tell me again what number you had? Do you have 7?
7. I have 7 even.
Yeah,
currently
I think that's
on Bet365. It is -7 at -115.
Yeah, I think it looks to be hovering around 7. Boy. I think the Bills are going to win. I think it's desperation time. The Bills need to win. The ghost of Andy Dalton's going to be playing in this game.
Yeah.
If the Bills can't I mean, if the Bills cannot get to Andy Dalton and Carolina has given up a lot of sacks on the year, Bills can't get to Andy Dalton, they're not going to get to anybody. So I do think the Bills are going to win. Normally, I would say if the Bills are going to win, they're going to win by a lot. I don't know on this one. I will go with the Bills -7 just because it is a touchdown. But it is very well. I would not run to the books to bet this. I'm just scared. My only fear with Carolina, because you might be saying even if Carolina loses, they lose close. My fear in this game, and I've seen the Bills do this before, they haven't done it the last 2 games, is that sometimes if they know that the other team can't pass the ball, they just sell out to stop the run, and then they get up and they beat the shit out of the team. I have no desire to back this Carolina team with Andy Dalton in this game. So I'm going to begrudgingly go with the Bills just because Sean McDermott off the bye, and it feels like there's a lot of desperation surrounding this Bills team, and this is a game they need to win. Especially they play Kansas City next week. So that's a big
right.
One. They need
Kansas
to win
City look ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I know you're not as confident.
Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah.
There we go. We'll try this one.
Killer whale, orca.
I'm going to make this my best bet.
Wow.
Give me the Bills -7. Look, it's weird because the AFC non-conference road teams this year, they've actually been a failing bet. They're 5-10 straight up and 6-9 ATS. But this is like getting the Bills at a low spot, betting wise. They're coming off the bye, like you mentioned. They're coming off of a road loss to Atlanta on top of that. But the Bills historically, coming off the bye, Josh Allen, 8-0 straight up, 5-2-1 ATS. On top of that, like you said, this is Andy Dalton. This isn't a fucking Bryce Young at home, scrappy little dude game. And even if it was, apparently he has a high ankle sprain, so say he was starting, like, what would he be able to do? Is he going to be any different than what Andy Dalton could do as a backup? I don't really think so. I've seen these terrible Bryce Young games in the past. And the Bills, like, this is a spot where I just think the Bills are going to have a field day with Andy Dalton. And I've seen Andy Dalton games, too, with Carolina. 1-5 in his career as a backup for Carolina. The only win being, I think, on the road against the Raiders of all spots. Carolina coming off of a win as well. Historically, a bad bet to go off of afterwards. 3-6 ATS. Carolina against the AFC going back to 2023. 4-10 ATS. That's about 29%. 3-6 ATS, by the way, 33%. And then as home underdogs, 4-10 ATS. That's 29%. And then if you... Wait, did I fuck this up? I might have. Oh, Carolina against the AFC is 4-10, so that's 29%. But as home underdogs, they're 7-11 ATS, only 39%. Implied odds, 51%. They're going to cover 7. I think there's too much of an advantage just mathematically on that end. But also, like, again, what do the Bills do against shit teams before a big spot? They usually beat the shit and embarrass them.
Yeah.
We've seen that before. They usually beat up little brother in the Jets or the Dolphins. But again, like, I've seen the Bills the week before Kansas City. This is like and especially coming off the bye, this just feels like an ultimate get up spot for the Bills. This just feels like Buffalo is going to romp this team. Andy Dalton's barely going to survive, I think. Which is weird because, like, for over-unders, oddly, like, I like the over because the Bills' defense I still have questions about, but I know they're coming back a lot healthier. I think was it Ed Oliver that finally came back, and I think might make a difference here.
And Taylor Rapp going on the IR is something that Bills fans have been clamoring for the past, 3 weeks. He's been one of the worst safeties in football, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, so I think you're getting a replacement there. Carolina, like, I'm not saying they're frauds. They are at home, which I would prefer backing them at home versus on the road. But I just think between Andy Dalton, between the fact they're still trying to force in Chuba Hubbard, and that the Jets held this team to 10, I do not like the direction the Panthers are going now. Like, it seemed like everything was going right. They were doing the right thing, and then they overthought it, or maybe management came in and made a call, but now it's going to go backwards. I see the focus, and I think if the Bills come in, they'll romp this Panthers team, and I think they'll make it look effortless too. Josh Allen's overdue for a bounce-back game.
Yeah, agree. And I mean, you want to look one more sort of comp. Buffalo, New England, they played a pretty close game. Carolina got their doors blown off by the Patriots. So if you think that the Bills and New England are even teams, you got to like the Bills in the spot.
Now, my question for you, there's two prop plays I was going to give out. One is very contingent. Is Dalton Kincaid returning for this game?
Questionable. From my understanding is that he was supposed to. I don't know if that changed. During the week, he was supposed to be back.
Good, because his touchdown prop is 2-1, and he scored in 3 of his last 5. And it's National Tight Ends Week.
Oh, shit. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that. We say it every year. We forget about National Tight Ends Day, and there's always like 70 trillion tight ends that score. So that's good to know. We're going to be prepared this time around.
Yeah, we are. And I actually wrote that down in all my notes. I was like, it is tight end day. Anytime touchdown is plus 210. I love that. I heard from another Sharp podcast that the Panthers are really bad against the slot receiver. So they're saying this could be a good Keon Coleman game.
Keon Coleman's not a slot guy, though. Shakir's the slot guy.
Maybe it was Shakir. Shakir has the same touchdown odds as Dalton Kincaid, 2-1. His receiving yards, though, if you look at if it's Khalil Shakir, I think his over-under right now is at like 45.5. I think he could hit over that in the first half. 46.5 right now on the Bet365.
It's tough because Bills receivers are always tough to predict. I will say that. Because they have that stupid everyone eats mentality, and it's always questionable. It's always questionable with their receivers. But yeah, I mean, if they're bad against the slot receivers, then yeah, I think you do go that route, honestly.
Yeah, Josh Allen, 225 pass yards, minus 115. I'd look at it. I wouldn't heavy hit it, but no, I love the Bills in this spot. I love Dalton Kincaid anytime touchdown, 2-1. That will probably go in my touchdown round robin. But other than that, I think I'm ready to move on.
Okay, yeah. Let's
All right. We're going to Baltimore. And by the way, this is going to be a Ravens blackout game against the Chicago Bears, 4-2 with Caleb Williams. They're coming to town, M&T Bank Stadium. The Ravens also coming off of the bye. The odds have now dropped to a 3.5 point spread in favor of the Ravens still. 47.5. We had a 2-point total drop. Money line minus 190 for the Ravens, plus 160 for the Bears. Massive change there. Basically, from my understanding, I think this came from the news that Lamar Jackson, while he was in practice, he basically ran the scout team. He didn't run the first string. Evidently, that was Tyler Huntley. And now news is coming out, according to SB Nation, that Lamar Jackson will likely be out. Or Lamar Jackson's going to be a game-time decision if you go to the Bleacher Report. So it just seems like there's a lot of unknowns in this. And I was hoping it would, like, we would get that news later in the day so I could give my take, because this one I really waited to handicap. The sharp thing would have been to bet the Bears plus 6 when that line was out because of the Lamar Jackson question. Otherwise, everyone else is going to be healthy. And I think if Lamar Jackson is going to end up playing, now that the line has dropped, I think maybe you play the Ravens now and try to middle it if you bet the Bears at 6 or higher. I didn't because I waited too long. But God, this just every sharp and their mother, I think, has been looking for a spot to fade the Bears. I think they covered like 4 straight, won 4 in a row or won 3 in a row now.
4 in a row, I think.
And it's just like, how long can the Bears really keep this up? I mean, even when the Ravens were healthy, that defense was shit under Zach Orr. Even when Lamar was healthy and he was scoring, like, that's what concerns me here is like, now that Lamar might not be playing and this has dropped to 3.5, I think you still have to end up taking the Bears on the spread at plus 3.5. I don't really love it as much. I didn't really love it at 6, to be honest with you. I think it was just more of like, you have to play the spot, and the Bears have been like winning. They've been covering. The Ravens have not been winning. They have not been covering. They really weren't winning much with Lamar Jackson. And even if he comes back and everyone's healthy, it's like, my question is like kind of like what you said to me last week. Okay, and so what? Like, and that's where I feel like these people who are betting the Ravens here, well, they're good against the NFC. Yeah, but they've actually lost their last 3. I think they failed to cover their last 4. So that's not really a good spot anymore, at least in terms of recency bias. And you could say that's Tyler Huntley, that's Cooper Rush. Even with Tyler Huntley, I don't like the Ravens as a favorite. If Lamar Jackson does end up playing, do I really want to back him as a favorite here at home against a team that has been winning and has been covering? I don't know. Like, tough spot. I guess it's the Bears, but I could be talked out of it.
I got to say, I really, and this is what I get for backing. First off, can we talk about what a loser Lamar Jackson is? He's still hurt. This guy is such a quitter. I hate him. I don't know, man. He's been out how many weeks now? Like, come on.
3 or 4 now.
And he's still not back. I really wanted to play the Ravens with Lamar back. I thought it was a perfect spot to fade the Bears. But if he's not going to be there, then I think you have to look at the Bears. And if they're gonna give you points to take the Bears, so be it. Because this Ravens team is just not functional. They can't run the ball like they did last year. Derrick Henry seemingly has fallen off a cliff. If this team can't run, they can't win. So
no,
I don't want to do it, but it's Bears or nothing. This, to me, regardless, I think is an over game. I think this would be my over of the week because
whoa, damn.
Because I just think the Bears defense isn't great. And especially if you look at Baltimore, they have a tendency, they've been turning the ball over like crazy. The Bears defense is actually the number 1 defense in forcing turnovers. Now, some of that came from that Raiders game, so you have to take it a little bit with a grain of salt. But if the Bears defense could get a few turnovers and Chicago could put up 34 on their own, and then you just give the Ravens some garbage time points and you're there. And I would even, if you even want to be even cuter, I would wait to see if Lamar doesn't play, because if Lamar doesn't play, it's probably going to go down even more. You might get it 45.5, 46.5. And
yep.
I think any value you could get, you just hammer, because this game to me, I think is like 38-17. I think this goes way over.
Well, I love how you mentioned value. I bet this at 49.5, but I bet the under because I made this my under of the week.
Whoa. Okay.
And again, hesitancy. I bet this at 49.5. I have not bet it at 47.5. But Mansman's completely right. I think we wait, especially now that I got it 49.5. I got a great number. I'm going to wait till game time to see what comes out. I'm also going to wait to see what happens with this number. This could continue to go down. Mm-hmm. This could like tank into the 42, 43.5 area. And then I'm going to be on Money Mansman's side and I'm going to hit the over.
You're going to middle. Yeah.
And I guarantee you this is a game I'll middle. If I can get a 6-point difference, I'll hit the middle. And it'll be a great day. Here's why I made it my under of the week, though. In the last 13 non-conference road games for the Chicago Bears, they've only scored over 20 points in 3 of them. And the Ravens offense, like you said, I have millions of questions about. I just have more questions about this Chicago Bears defense. Because you're right, like, they are a lot better. They're very good in the passing defense game. They're 8th in passing yards allowed. They're 9th in overall yards, but they're 29th in allowing passing touchdowns. And they're 7th in rushing touchdowns. They're 20th in rushing yards. So it just seems like, to me, like you said, if Derrick Henry can't get it going on the ground for whatever reason, this Ravens team is toast. And they're done. And that's what concerns me. Like, I feel like if it's, and God help us, if it's Tyler Huntley, Ravens team total unders all day, every day. Because this, to me, seems like a game. It could be 30-10. It could be 27-3, 27-6, something weird like that. And the under just hits. And the Bears will get like maybe 20 in the first half, and then the Ravens defense shows up second half. Mm-hmm. Just a weird feeling, like that kind of game, especially if like the Ravens can't move the ball on offense. Chicago will just run the ball, and they'll do design plays 3 times just to kill clock. That's what concerns me. But no, I actually like your over idea, especially if it is romp. And again, let this number keep dropping. Like, I will wait till game time. Give me another, get me down to 43.5. I'll hit this over with you.
Okay. I like where our heads are at.
All right. Next up, we're going to Foxborough, Gillette Stadium. The New England Patriots are hosting at home, finally, the Cleveland Browns. God, what can I say? What can we say about the Browns? Yeah, they suck. Browns are catching 7 plus 280 on the money line. Patriots are minus 360. 44.5 is the total. Okay. I'll go first real quick. Again, I'll double up. Pats have won 7 straight at home against Cleveland. They're 9-1 in their last 10 against the Browns. Cleveland is also really bad as a road underdog. They're 3-11-1 ATS going back to 2023. They lost 9 straight up. They failed to cover 8 of those 9. Dylan Gabriel wins a game. So fucking what, in my opinion? Why are there sharps running to go back Cleveland in this spot? I don't get it. Like, is this, I just want to fade the Patriots, so I'm going to fade the Patriots and back Vegas here? Again, this seems like last week all over again, where it's just, where at least last week it was like they leaned on trends, and it was like, well, Patriots are on their 3rd road game, and Patriots are favorites in their 3rd road game. This isn't historically good. And it's like, so what? Like, who are you betting? Who's the other side? Tennessee. Why would you bet Tennessee? It feels like the same thing over again. Well, Patriots have won and covered 3 straight, or 4 straight maybe. Now they're back at home. Let's fade them. Okay, well, who are they playing? Cleveland. You're going to go bet Cleveland on the road. Management, help me make sense of this. Like, am I insane? What the fuck are they thinking?
So, you know what? I am going to make this my best bet. Give me the New England Patriots.
All right.
And it hurts me to say it. It hurts me. Because I don't want New England to be successful. But here's, first off, the trends. My favorite bid bucks thing ever is that this Cleveland Browns defense is not the same defense on the road as they are at home. You've trumpeted that every time. Now, Cleveland was one of my best picks last week because they were at home in bad weather. I knew what was going to happen. This week, Cleveland coming off a big win. They're on the road. Their defense has not played as well on the road. Big step up in competition. Say what you will. New England is better than Miami. And here's the other thing. What is New England's weakness on defense? Their pass defense?
Not really.
How has Cleveland been successful in the games with Dylan Gabriel under center? They've been able to run the ball. New England's defense is good at stopping the run. They're going to contain Judkins in this Cleveland running game, which means it's going to be on Dylan Gabriel to win the game. Yeah, I think I'll take New England -7.
I'm right there with you. I hate to say it's too easy, but like, again, think about it. You want to fade the Patriots. I want to fade the Patriots. I'm right there, like, in that same mindset. Like, this Patriots team is very overrated. They have not played anyone good. I want to fade them at some point, too. Like, at some point, the number will be too high. The question is, it's like, well, who's their opponent?
Cleveland, and a couple numbers of concern, though, for the Sharps. So the Sharp bettors, I guess maybe this is what they're thinking. So the Browns have lost 15 straight games as underdogs against the AFC East. I guess they're due. Having covered the spread as underdogs against the AFC East in their last 9 games. So the Browns have been terrible against the AFC East. Therefore, all the sharp bettors need to bet on the Browns because I guess they're due or something. Just bet the Patriots, folks.
I fucking guess. I mean, look, I think two things are true. I think this is a shit spot for Cleveland. I think the Patriots are overdue to be faded as well. And, like, look, the Patriots have taken advantage of a super duper easy schedule. Yeah, that's true. That's what you do when you have competent coaching, though. Like, when you're a competent organization, you go and fire your head coach after 1 year when he's shit. When you invest in a new quarterback, you go get a guy like Mike Vrabel, who has history in your organization and is successful as a head coach. You go get him. You beat up shit teams. And honestly, like, who cares if Christian Gonzalez locks up Jerry Jeudy this week? It's not like Jerry Judy's going to catch the ball anyways. Like, I have a feeling, like, Pats might shut this team out. Cleveland in their last 10 against the AFC on the road, I think it's 2-8 ATS. They averaged a measly 16.5 points in those games. They only hit that over in 40%, so 4 of 10. Guess what their team total is? 16.5. You know who hit the under? This guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if
11 straight road losses in general for Cleveland.
I mean, no, but that's okay. Let's take them +7. I guess. I mean, I couldn't tell you why. It's not a good idea.
That to me just screams of the Sharps, like, looking to fade the Patriots, which I can admire, but I don't think so. Oh, by the way, while we were talking, holy shit, breaking news while we were talking on DK, Bears are now a 1.5 point underdog. The over-under is down to 44.5.
No. Get out of here. No.
It has gone down. I don't know. Maybe something just broke. It went down 3 points while we were talking.
Jesus Christ. Do I hit it now or do I? That's only 5, but. What news is broke? I'm just confused. Like.
I don't know.
9 minutes ago. Latest update suggests, according to Yahoo Sports, Lamar Jackson will not play.
Okay, there we go. Look at that. See, that's how the sausage is made, folks.
Oh, man. This is...
I mean, that's good for the over-under. You may want to... Why don't you introduce the next game? I'll talk. You can put your Bears bet in.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to.
It's at 2.5 on DK now.
Oh, wait, what? Did I just want to bet? What the hell? Something just came in. That's strange. What the heck? Oh, shit. Okay. That's how the sauce... I just had a 3-1 come in. That's what showed that. Sorry. I'll tell you that off air. But, yeah, we'll play... I'll play the next game. Miami Dolphins, 1-6, coming off their loss in Cleveland in the weather. They're now going into a dome at Atlanta to take on Michael Penix and the Falcons, who are 3-3. 7.5 points on the spread. Miami is catching it, plus 320 on the money line. 50 is the total, minus 400 for the Falcons. Mansman, it's your go. Take it away.
So every game this year, it seemed like Mike McDaniels was a game away from getting fired. They say they're not going to fire him in the middle of the year, but they probably should, because this Miami Dolphins team is horrible. This game is honestly that Patriots line was so bad it changed my mind. This was originally going to be my best bet, because if you think about what happened last week, why did Miami struggle? They can't stop the run, and their offense is basically all passing. Well, the Falcons have the number one pass defense in football. I said that before the Bills game. And the Dolphins defense, worst defense in the league against the run. Somehow worse than the Buffalo Bills, if you could believe that. Falcons at home. Miami's not going to be able to pass. Their defense isn't going to be able to stop the run. That is a recipe for a Falcons blowout. I think the Falcons are going to completely embarrass the Dolphins. Oh, and if you needed a trend to support that as well, 6 straight losses as road underdogs to the Miami Dolphins. This is going to be a 7th straight loss as a road underdog. The Dolphins are not winning this game, and I think Atlanta is going to win by probably 2 touchdowns, if not more. This Miami team's terrible. They've quit on the coach. They are donezo. Give me Atlanta here.
Fair enough. I'm not going to give you too much of it. I have no right to give a handicap on Miami. I've just been dead wrong all year. I'm not going to try. Well, I gave you my under of the week earlier. I guess I have to give you my over of the week. This is over 44.5 for me.
Ooh, that's dangerous.
I don't think so. My thinking was literally last week, Miami was dog shit in the elements, in the weather. They're now going in a dome. They went up against one of the top rush defenses last week in their home turf. This week, it's back on the road, back-to-back road spot, but they're in a dome and it's Atlanta. Their pass defense is really good. The rush defense isn't as great as I want to believe, although they did stop your boy James Cook.
I mean, not really. We just
but
didn't
not
run.
really.
Not really. We just didn't run stupidly.
Yeah. Look, Miami's been a dead over team all year. And it is because their defense is that bad. I actually have like a hedge, like not a hedge per se, but like one of the props I really love is Bijan Robinson, 140 scrimmage yards. I think he's hit it in like 3 or 4 of his last 5. And this is the worst defense he's going up against. And he's going to be at home in a dome versus on the West Coast against San Francisco, where he basically just kind of got shut out. So I think he's going to bounce back strong this week. But I think Tua and company might also actually be able to do some damage, and they might be able to rebound themselves. This Falcons team, for what it's worth, I think they're just too inconsistent. Maybe they're better at home. And the Falcons have lost at home too. And looking at that last Monday Night Football win against the Bills, even when they shut down Josh Allen and they had their worst game this year, really wasn't because of Michael Penix. It really wasn't the worst we've seen of him, but they only won by 10 in the super uneventful second half, where the Falcons defense basically were the heroes of that game. And I know Miami is quitting, but I think Coach McDaniels had 1 point. Do we really want to be competitive? Don't throw 10 interceptions, and then you'll have a chance. Miami's also a Ronald Mansman special. I'm getting them at over a touchdown. I'm going to take Miami in the contest. I haven't decided if I'm going to martingale it from last week or not. I don't know if I want to, but I got to take the Dolphins here in this spot. I don't want to, but I just don't believe. To me,
Terrible play.
If I have faith in Atlanta to cover over a touchdown, they just seem to disappoint me. I like Atlanta as a dog, I think is what it comes down to. I like catching points with Atlanta. I don't like really betting them as big favorites yet. They just really haven't. They played close football too. Like, that's my concern. I think this is a spot Miami could rebound. I mean, Miami did good against Carolina. They did good against the Chargers. They just lost. I think this is another game. It's going to be close. And I think at plus 7.5, like, that won't be a sweat. It's just whether they'll outright win. I don't think they will. I think Atlanta
by the way, your over under last 10 games at home against the AFC
unders
have gone under the Falcons.
Yep. That was my under of the week for the Bills and Falcons yep. Monday Night Football. I remember that. No, here's the difference. The Dolphins defense is shit. And the Dolphins offense, Tua will either throw 4 interceptions or will throw 3 touchdowns. I don't know which one it's going to be.
Yep.
So that's why I like the over here. I just think this 44.5 is a bit too low. Because, like, how are you going to sit here and say, like, the Falcons will, like, roll this team and then not give up garbage points later? Like, this to me has 35-10 all over it. Or it's going to have, like, another 28-27 all over it, too.
Yeah. I got to say, be careful betting Bijan over rushing yards because
I had scrimmage yards.
Yeah, I would go scrimmage. I would go scrimmage because the rushing is high. The rushing is high.
Could do a non-correlated. You could do his rushing under, his passing receiving yards over.
I don't know. I think I like your play. Miami last week, they held Quentin Junkins under the line. That's the first time all year they've done that. Every other running back has gone over the rush and scrimmage yards, and buddy, they've gone way over. Way over. So
fair enough. Well, I'm trying to think, what's the rushing yard? Well, what's the receiving
87, I think. 87.5 consensus.
I mean, if you want a nice little line, Bijan Robinson to get 50 receiving yards, something he's done in 3 straight games, plus 170.
Oh wow.
If you don't like his rushing, but you like his receiving, bro, play his 50 yards at plus 170.
I like your scrimmage yards. I'm going to bet that.
I'll jot that down.
Nice correlation.
No, Kyle, by the way, there's a reason we haven't done any more tight end props. The team's just not trustworthy, and I'm not trusting Kyle Pitts on anything.
Yeah, don't worry, we'll get there.
Oh, we're gonna get there, all right. But hang on, let me jot this. Bijan 140 scrimmage. Got that. Okay, moving on. It's the Philadelphia Eagles coming back in the Kelly Greens at home, taking on the New Jersey Giants, who are 2-5, coming off that loss to my Denver Broncos. They're catching 7 as a divisional road underdog, plus 275. Eagles are minus 350. 44 is the total. No A.J. Brown for the Eagles in this game, and the line movement did nothing, which I found really, really, really strange. We saw this game 2 weeks ago, and the Giants basically took advantage of this Eagles team on their home turf. This line in Vegas, like, they're staying put. I don't know if I have a good, strong play one way or the other. I feel like this should be Eagles or nothing. With them at home, with Jackson Dart on the road. Like, Eagles money line, I think, is a lot stronger of a play. Division road underdogs this year, and even going back to last year's numbers too. Division road underdogs are not a profitable spot. This year alone, 7-11 ATS, only 3-15 straight up. So it's like, at best, they're going to cover, but they're not going to win. And this just feels like another spot. Like, I just don't know what that game in Denver did morally, or like, I don't know what it does to a team like the Giants, who you're up 19-0 at one point going into the fourth, and you give up 33 to lose the game. Like, I think, I don't know if you saw the video footage after that game of the Giants side, There's players literally cussing out about the play calling and like, why the hell would we be doing this? So organizationally, it just seems like it's beginning to crack and fall apart. The Eagles, on the other hand, I mean, they won a close game against Minnesota. A.J. Brown's hurt, allegedly. Hurt feelings, hurt hamstring. I don't know, but I love the over in this game more, but I have a couple player props I really love more. Like, this is another player prop game for me. I guess if I have to pick, it's Eagles or nothing.
Yeah, really interesting. There's something smelly about this game because my initial inclination is dog of the week, Giants. Why? Number doesn't make any sense. 7.5 point underdogs at home, won outright by 17. There's still 7.5 point dogs, or now 7. I guess it makes sense. The Eagles, they've beaten the Giants 12 straight times. They cover against the NFC East at home. I just don't have a lot of faith in this Eagles team. My one fear is, were they on offense trying to force feed the ball to A.J. Brown? And with him being out, is it going to open the offense more? I just don't have a lot of faith in this Eagles team. I really don't. They haven't been good really all year. And they won against Minnesota. They got the cover. They did it. We were on the right side, or I was on the right side. They didn't look good doing it. They haven't looked good all year. I mean, they won 4 straight games to begin the year, but they controlled none of the stats for any of the games. For me, it's Giants or nothing. I can't back the Eagles as big favorites. They have not shown an ability to be backed as big favorites in any football game this year.
I can't fault you for that. I really can't. Okay, so I'm on DK right now. This is my big player prop. It's not a tight end play. It's a Jalen Hurts play. I'm going to give you the last 5 games, Jalen Hurts passing yards. 226, 130, 280, 283, 326.
Ooh.
Guess where his passing yards line is set at?
Well, I'm looking at it. So on DK, 205.5.
I might ladder bet this. Do you know what he did against the Giants the last 2 weeks ago? 283.
No, I don't. Really?
283. Do you know what Bo Nix did last week against this fucking Giants team?
That I don't know.
279.
Wow. This is really sharp.
You can get 210 at even money on DK. I think I'm going to play that.
This is really sharp, actually, because you're going against the conventional thinking since their number one receiver is out. The thinking's going to be that Jalen Hurts is going to do nothing.
Well, here's my question. Does he not have other weapons? Does he not have Dallas Goedert? Does he not have Devonta Smith? Does he not have like a 2 or 3 or 4 that like is also going to be serviceable? Like, what's the thing about this Nick Sirianni offense? It's almost Shanahan-like with how plug and play it really can be. I mean, Saquon's like the ultimate piece. Like, without Saquon, I really do believe they struggle. I think Saquon is like a secret part of the reason why their tush push thing really started working. I mean, that man benches like 700, or he squats like 700 pounds. I think that's a big part of it. But I also just think like this Giants team, they're gonna be all focused on Saquon. This is a game I think Jalen Hurts, yeah, let him ball out. Like, I don't care if AJ Brown is out. Like, I might take a couple units and just ladder bet it, but I'm definitely going. Yeah, I think I'm going to go 1.5 units on this 210. I don't know.
Really sharp by you. And I think it pairs wonderfully with the Giants plus 7 pick. Because if the game's close, they're going to need to throw it. They're not going to be able to just run the ball 80 times. I endorse it fully. The Giants haven't been good against the pass really all year. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then in terms of receiving yards, Goddard's is a little bit too high for me. It's at 49.5 and 50, but I rather would play his anytime touchdown. Could go for his receptions at 5, which is minus 110, but I just had his touchdown. Where did it go? Yeah, he's scored in 4 of his last 5. I know he didn't score last week, but he's plus 170. I don't think that's for nothing, and I think with AJ Brown out, that's going to be his go-to red zone target.
Yep, and it's National Tight Ends Day.
Yep, and I'm going to jot that down. So those are my 2 bigger plays rather than the Eagles spread, because I'm not as confident on it. And you're right, like it smells fishy. Again, it just seems too easy. Giants plus 7.5. Wasn't, like you said, this was 2 weeks ago on their home turf. Now they're on the road and it's the same line. You're telling me the Giants are now, think about it, are the Eagles 2.5 points worse than 2 weeks ago? Or vice versa? Are they really like, no, it would be worse. Are the Eagles 2.5 points worse than 2 weeks ago?
Well, no, because if you think about it, if you give the Giants basically, you change home field. So you give maybe 1.5 points for home field for the Giants, and now you give 1.5 points to the Eagles. I mean, it's pretty much, I don't know, maybe it's like a point difference from last time. I think the Giants are much better than, I think the Giants are an average team now, to tell you the truth. Like, They blew it to Denver, but could you imagine what the line would be if they had beaten Denver? Be 4.5,
5.5, maybe 6.5. If we're
I'm really glad they blew that game because they're a good bet this week.
Oh yeah, Bijan. Let me see what the replay is. Nope, it's the same. Bijan 140 is plus 104. I just wanted to throw that out there before we move on to the next game. All right, moving on. Bengals, Jets. Bengals are finally home. They're catching 6 against, I don't even know who's at quarterback. I don't know if it matters. The Jets are 0-7. They suck. They're plus 240. Over-under's 44.5. Ready? Here you go. There you go. There you go, Jets. There you go, Aaron Glenn. You suck. Yeah, there you go. You know what the play is?
I guess it's my turn. I haven't gone for a while. I'll just let you go for it. Yeah, ready? Here's my handicap. The Jets do not even know who's starting at quarterback. Are they going to start their rookie third stringer who's never played an NFL snap? Or are they going to play the guy who their owner literally just eviscerated and said is basically donkey shit? Because Tyrod Taylor, of course, had to get hurt. And they still haven't announced the court. You know, the Jets are so bad. And it's the Joe Flacco revenge game.
That's right.
Don't forget that. Joe Flacco vengeance spot. This Jets team's a joke. The auto fade the Jets. I mean, the thing is, too, you look at this line and you're like, holy shit, the Bengals shouldn't be 6-point favorites against anyone, except maybe the Jets. The Jets are the worst team in football. Just end this season. Aaron Glenn should be fired. They haven't even announced the starter, bro. And he's getting snarky with the media. Oh, why would you ask that question? Why do you need to know that? Hey, dumbass, tomorrow's game day. Who's starting? Do you even know? Is that why you're not answering? Do you even know, Aaron Glenn?
Aaron Glenn gets feisty defending decision not to name the starting quarterback. Can't tell you that. Tyrod Taylor says he's still unaware if he'll be the Jets starting quarterback.
What are we doing? What are we doing? What do we do?
I'm fucking with you. There's no way this is a fade of the week. Are you out of your mind? No, fuck the Jets. They suck. Under 44.5. There you go.
Bro, I wanted to do a fade of the week to fade the Jets. Can you fade? I don't think you could possibly fade an 0-7 team.
I think you could. I mean, if they were
Jeez.
laying points, maybe, but they're not. They're catching. No. This team is horrendous. They need to go. They should be relegated, honestly. Can we relegate them to the UFL? Like, they're an embarrassment. Like, they need to go. I have nothing left to say.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
Move on. That's it for that.
That game will not be on my 4 box. I have no reason to care. Let's move on. The Houston Texans, coming off their Monday Night Football loss, Houston, Texas, NRG Stadium. They are taking on the San Francisco 49ers non-conference road matchup. 5-2 coming off a Sunday Night Football win. 2 points for the Niners, plus 115 on the money line. The Texans, minus 135. 42 is the total. Mansman, I'll give you a take 2 to try again here. What are you going to do with this game?
This is going to be my dog of the week. Give me the Niners.
Oh, my God.
And ready? Here's my complicated handicap. WTF. Wrong team favored. Houston is not good.
No, they're not.
Now play Chewbacca.
This is Chewbacca.
That's it. There you go. That's all you need. Houston is terrible. They have a rest disadvantage. They're coming off a Monday night loss to Seattle. Houston sucks. Houston is not good. They beat up on the ghost of the Titans, the ghost of the Ravens. Did we see what San Fran did last week? I have a feeling they'll be fine. San Fran is a well-coached team. Houston is terrible. Sorry, I can't. I cannot back Houston as a favorite in any game against a reasonable team. So there you have it. There's my handicap.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Chewbacca.
This is a Chewbacca line. I called it a flipper game because when this line originally came out, I think the favorite kept flip-flopping. I think at one point the Niners were favored, and then it ended up going back to the Texans. Now the Texans are laying 2. I mean, I liked it with you at 1. I like it more at 2. So, with that said, I think we have to make this a double dog of the week.
Shit.
The 49ers plus 115. Look, the Niners are getting a Texans team in a shit spot. They're saying this is a bad spot for the Niners. I think you look at this is not a good spot for the Texans. 0-3-1 ATS at home versus NFC opponents since 2023. The Texans are coming off a Monday Night Football loss. Mansman, I've been praising that all year. Fade the team who loses Monday Night Football. They're 1-7 straight up in ATS this season. And the Texans are on short rest. 1-2-1 ATS going back to 2023. They have an average loss margin of 4.5. Meanwhile, for the Niners, they won Sunday Night Football. 5-0 this season for those teams. 4-1 ATS coming off of Sunday Night Football. They're an NFC non-conference road team. The NFC has fared a lot better than the AFC counterparts. They're 17-5 ATS this season. And they're getting a Texans team who is just awful, awful, awful against the NFC West. The Texans are 3-7-1 ATS if you go all the way back to 2017. With only 2 outright wins against this division. I'll give you a hint. It was only one team they beat. It was Arizona.
Oh, figures.
Yeah, I mean, this is the same spot almost as last week. And additionally, there's a possibility of no Nico Collins, no Christian Kirk. And I think even if they were playing, the Texans had a game on Monday Night Football. They do everything.
Both are out, by the way. Both officially out.
Good. Good. But they're 2-point favorites. They're out. They have no wide receivers, but the Texans are laying 2. They have no running back game either. I don't get it. Like, what are we doing, folks? This makes no sense. This makes no fucking sense to bet on this Texans team right now. And literally last week, they did everything right against Seattle. As road underdogs in Seattle, where they suck at home. I think they have, 4 turnovers in that game?
Mm-hmm.
They still lost and failed to cover as a road underdog. They've actually lost 6 of their last 7 straight up against the NFC, and now we're going to back them as home favorites. Like, I don't, like, the one thing the Sharps have said, well, the Niners are bad as road underdogs, too. They're 1-4 ATS in their last 5. And the Texans are actually very good straight up as home favorites. They've actually gone 10-3 since they drafted CJ Stroud. I'm throwing that out. I'm looking at what's in front of me. I'm doing the eye test. This Texans offense is just piss dry. It is just dry, musky piss watching them perform. Like, God help me if I have to watch the Jets and Texans this year. I don't know if I could do it. The Niners, they're well coached. They're a plug and play. George Kittle's back. George Kittle, tight end week. Just hit it. Like, you may not hit it this year, but you do it every time. Just hit the Kittle props. I don't, and especially with this Texans pass defense, like, I know there's concerns, but I mean, Christian McCaffrey is still a beast. He scored in 4 straight games. He's only a -150 anytime touchdown. Kittle's +175, so that's a bit juiced, but I mean, and it looks like Mac Jones will be starting this game. Actually love that more than Brock Purdy this time around. Yeah, lock it in. Double dog of the week. Any final plays? Anything else, Mansman?
No, I think that's it. I think we're on the same page there.
There we go. All right. Moving on into the 4:00 window, we have the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome. Sunday, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. They're hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are 5-2, coming off an additional Monday Night Football loss. They're laying 3.5, -210, +175 for the Saints. 46.5 is the total. Yeah, I think I'm trying to think of the injuries. It's no Emeka Egbuka, no Mike Evans. Chris Godwin, I think, might be out as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and no Rashad White.
A lot of injuries.
And they're still laying 3.5, which I think tells you something. I honest to God, I want to say it's a no play. I know betting on the Bucs in this spot, you lose a lot of money. I think the Saints, like, historically fare well against the Buccaneers for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
Even during the Tom Brady era, like, Brady would always struggle against the Saints. I just think this number's tanked too low. Like, I think it opened at like 5.5, 6, and it's just gone down. But I don't want to bet on Spencer Rattler. The guy's a loser. The guy he's won 1 game. And I think we called that game too. Like, there's 1 game he won. That was that. He hasn't done shit since. Tampa's defense, I think, is still going to be a threat. And that's my concern. What is Spencer Rattler going to do? That's what this comes, like, that's your handicap. What do you think Spencer Rattler does? I don't think he does enough. I don't know if I want to bet the Bucs to cover either. Like, this will be a Bucs money line or nothing, and I want no parts of it. So, you know, for our contest sakes, I'm taking the Bucs, but Jesus Christ, like, I'd have to double check that number in our contest because depending on how high it is, yeah, I have a no play here. Mansman, do you have any thoughts?
I'm right with you on the handicap. I think Tampa's coming off the bye. They've actually covered the spread 6 straight following a loss.
Are they on a bye?
I'm kind of with you.
No, they're coming. Tampa's coming off Monday night.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. Tampa?
Tampa?
Yeah, they lost to Detroit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, for some reason, I thought that was 2 weeks ago. That's weird. So they're not coming off a bye, but they have been good coming from losses. The Saints have not been good at home as underdogs. I'm with you. I think it's like Tampa money line is kind of the bet that I would make. I think you have to go with Tampa minus the 4.5. Although New Orleans has been feisty. I don't know. This game to me just feels like a no play. I think it's probably Tampa or nothing, just because I don't know. With the Saints, doesn't it feel like at some point they're going to have to go to Tyler Slow? Like, how much longer is Spencer Rattler going to like be out there to just lose games? Like, they're 1-6, their season's over.
I don't
This
know.
could be the first time we see Tyler Slow, because I could see Tampa getting up like 24-3 and Rattler getting benched at halftime.
Could very well be true. I feel like this is another game where, God, who the fuck was it? It wasn't Dart. It wasn't Russ. I'm trying to think. There's like another quarterback where I was like, he won himself another week. Oh, it's Dylan Gabriel last week.
Mm-hmm.
That's who it was. I was like, this is a game where, like, if Dylan Gabriel gets benched, Cleveland's a whole new team, I think. But literally he beat Miami. I was like, okay, so he got another week. And then depending on if he loses or how bad he does next week, does he get another one? I don't know. This feels like the same thing for Spencer Rattler. Like, is he going to do just enough to win another week? And if that's the way he's been playing, I mean, at some point it will catch up. And at some point he will end up having a bad game and getting benched. He'll have another, like, Seattle-like performance where they just get the brakes blown off. They get slaughtered. It's 40-0. I don't think it's this game. I think it's coming soon, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Moving on.
The Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Denver in Power Field at Mile High. We're throwing it back with the Denver D, baby. 5-2, coming off the big win against the Giants. We're taking on the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-1. They're catching 3.5 points. They're plus 155. Over-under is 51. Oh, Money Mansman.
Your team, buddy. Go ahead.
Okay. To everybody who thinks betting Denver as a favorite in this spot is great. It pains me to do it, but this is my fade of the week. I am fading my Broncos off of Demaryius Thomas game after the big miracle comeback. I'm just done with this fucking team. Not the team. I'm done with this fucking coach. I'm done with him. I'm going to say something controversial here. Dallas completely beat the brakes off of a playoff caliber team in the Commanders. Like, they were literally the NFC Championship runner-ups. And they just beat the piss out of them last week at home. Now they're on the road, which is fair. Like, okay, Dallas is on the road. What are they going to do? How good are they? Their defense actually held the Commanders to the same points as the Jets. I think for them, that's a win. Like, that's a moral victory, quote unquote. I'm going to say something more controversial, though. Denver's a fraud team. They should have lost last week. They actually should have been embarrassed. And it literally takes divine intervention and help me Bo Nix type plays to pull that win. And, you know, again, Dallas's narrative is, well, they have a terrible defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. Terrible on the road. Look, I get it. They allow 22 points to opposing teams on the road. They're the 31st ranked pass and rush defense. They're 1-3 on the road. They lost to Philly, Carolina, and Chicago, all of which right now have worse defenses than Denver. Oh, and Dallas has not beaten the Broncos since 1995 with Troy Aikman. They're 0-7. My point is this. and this is my point to Barney Rubble, this is my point to the Sharps, who barely caught the first 3 quarters of that Broncos game last week, or really any Broncos game in general. This offensive coordinator, Joe Lombardi, is a pigeon shit for brains when it comes to play calling. This offensive scheme of run, throw the ball backwards on a screen, and on third down, help us, Bo Nix, you're our only hope and Lord and Savior, is a fucking embarrassment. And I'm sick and tired of this team laying points when anyone and their mother could read this play calling scheme. Denver's defense is the only reason we've been keeping games close to hang around. And the fact that Denver has only won by a combined score of 15 points across 4 of their 5 wins, it tells me everything that it is their defense. The fact that Denver has lost 2 games by 3 points, or sorry, it's 4 points. They lost by a combined score of 4. There's not enough discipline. If there was discipline in this team, we'd be undefeated. But there isn't. I don't know if, like, in the fourth quarter, Bo Nix is just saying, fuck it, I'm scrambling now because this play call already fell apart once again. And now I just need to run and do some Josh Allen bullshit. I don't know if this Dallas offense is a team I want to go fucking playing from behind. That's what scares me. Dallas, their offense has been really good this year. Dak Prescott is balling out. And if it wasn't for his defense being as shit as they are, I think he would be in the running for MVP. He's second in passing yards and touchdowns. He's first in QBR. And I just have a concern that if once again Sean Payton and his pucker lip bitch ass face plays from behind, slow start, I just want to establish the run no matter what, and you let Dak Prescott throw 21 on you in the first half, you're not coming back this time. Like, this isn't the Giants. This is Dak Prescott. He will heave the ball. He won't give a shit. Like as we saw last week, they'll run the score. They have nothing to lose. Denver, I think, has everything to lose in this spot. And that's what scares me. And Denver has only covered once as a favorite all year, and that was against a backup quarterback. And what kills me the most is when Sean Payton was asked, how do you feel about your offensive play calling? Do you think you could switch it over to someone else? No, I think we're comfortable with what we're doing. Well, Sean, you're the only one who's comfortable. You're the only one who seems to, like, fucking think that this is perfect. It's not. Like, he's the big bad honcho. You run 34 plays. You only get 100 yards of offense. You punt 6 out of your 8 drives in the first half. And, you know, you're 1-3 as a favorite, and you barely beat the Jets in London. But let's lay more points with Denver. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. Can't do it. My rant's over. Not as much rage as I wanted, but, you know, there's my point. Like, I can't bet on Denver to cover a spread yet. Not until they prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I've heard you. You actually made my handicap for me while you were going through your little mini rant. What does Denver do at home, Steve? What do they do at home?
They beat the shit out of bad teams.
Fucking win. You're damn right. They fucking find a way to win.
They win.
And you said it before. What do they do against the Cowboys?
They beat them.
Fucking win. That's what they do. This is the sharp trap to me. Because you look at the Cowboys and they look a lot better than they are. Because you look at the Cowboys on the road and it's not good.
No.
17-point loss to Chicago. Lost to Carolina. Lost to the Eagles, who are now not as good. They did beat the Jets. Yay. Big whoop.
Yay.
That's like showing up. This Dallas team's not as good on the road. And Dallas's defense is horrendous. They will give up points. And can the Cowboys offense score? They will. Are they going to put up a 40-burger against Denver's defense? You could say the Giants did, but the Giants got some luck in that game. the deflected pass that was caught for a touchdown. I think Denver's going to get some momentum from last week's win. Denver's the better team. Do I like the number? Three with the hook? No. But bet Dallas at your own risk, because this feels like the sharp play of we have to bet an underdog. We're getting points. Barney at the bar is betting Denver. Denver is a fraudulent team. When you look at Denver, a lot of their games have been on the road. The one time they played a bad team at home with a bad defense, 28-3, coffin.
Shouldn't have been more. And that's my problem. Like, the way Denver plays, they sleep in the first half, they wake up in the fourth. And I just don't think this Dallas team is a team you want to do that with. That's what scares me. They may come back. Like, that's the thing. Do I want to bet on Denver on another comeback win? Or I've seen this game before. Do I want to bet Denver with a 7-point lead going into the fourth and they're playing too close for comfort? No, because I've seen that game before too, and they'll lose it in a last-second field goal and lose by 1, and I'll get pissed and break something.
Here's the one thing I would keep in mind. Javonte Williams, revenge spot. So maybe you'd want to look for him to do something in this game.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Javonte Williams, revenge spot.
Lost you. Give me a second.
No.
There we go. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
That's better. Okay. My apologies, folks. Yeah, no, I've seen this before. Denver can't play too close. That's my problem.
Javonte Williams, revenge spot. Thoughts?
What's the line? That's
62 and a half.
You could. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either.
Denver's defense makes it tough too. Williams has gotten over 62 and a half in most of his games, but Denver's held people under that in most of the games. That's why it was surprising Cam Scatterbo was able to run a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would play the 60-yard line at minus 125 for Javonte. I just think, like, through pure aggression, like, I think he'll just eventually get Javonte anytime touchdown, because I think if they let Dallas get in the red zone and they get to the goal line, that's easy money.
Yeah. Okay.
You could play Dak Prescott to throw 3 touchdowns at 3-1. So there's a couple prop plays too. It's actually on Bo Nix. So again, non-correlated plays. I like Dallas to cover, but I really like Bo Nix props in this one. The 2 stats I saw was Dallas's defense has given up 3 passing touchdowns to quarterbacks in all but one of their games this year. So Bo Nix to throw 3 touchdowns is plus 255. If you go on Bet 365, it's actually 3-1 now, so it may have jumped up. And then Bo Nix to throw for 250. That's something he's done in, I think, both of his home games this year. I could be wrong. He's hit over that number, but it's plus 110. It was plus 121 on DK. So, yeah, shop around with those numbers, but I really like the Bo Nix props, especially if you really think Dallas's defense is terrible. And this could be a Bo Nix get up right.
Yeah. This is weird because I know one last thing on this game. I know Dallas is a dead over team, but I'd be careful of an under here. Like, it's 50 and a half, but Denver's defense does have the ability to get some stops. And I don't know if Dallas's offense is as good on the road. So be careful of that.
Yeah, I think at 51, you hit the under. I think 50 and a half. God, you got to be careful with that too. Because, like, again, I've seen this game with Denver before too. This went from, I mean, last week we saw it went from 19-0 to 33-32.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Why don't you introduce the next game? I have to take a quick meeting.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. This game I won't be too long, but I'll try my best. It's the Tennessee Titans, who are 14.5-point underdogs going into Lucas Oil Stadium to take on the Indianapolis Colts, who are minus 1,400 money line favorites. 48 is the total. And I mean, I guess what I'm going to have to do, because again, this was another line. I really wasn't sure because I was like, wow, 14.5 is a lot. And then I remembered, oh yeah, it's the Titans. They're on auto fade. I don't care what arguments are going to be made for them at 14.5. I don't care. I didn't bet on them last week like most donkeys out there, thinking, dead coach bounce, Patriots third in a row. Thank you, Money Mansman, once again. I'll give you your kudos, even though you're not here to listen to it. He talked me out of thinking about taking them in a buy low spot. And it turns out they really can get lower. And that was a donkey way of thinking. But, it worked out. Like last week, he said, why? So what? Like even more elegantly, what has this team shown you to show that they should be bet on? Or, what's the eye test say? Eye test says everything is wrong with Tennessee right now. Everything is going the Colts' way. Titans are 2-12 ATS against division opponents going back to 2023. They're 6-14 ATS as road underdogs. They're 3-6 ATS since 2024. And normally, like, these teams do play close. I look back a couple of weeks ago, the Colts won by 21 the last time around. Now they're home. Now it's only 14. I don't play these lines normally, but I really like the Colts, and like instead of a teaser, I'd be half tempted to like alt spread it up and go 15.5, 16.5, maybe up to 21, just to see how many could hit. Because I mean, again, what has this Titans team showed you? I mean, let's look at week 1. Lost by 8 against the Rams. They lost by 14. So they covered 2. They lost by 21 to the Colts. They then lost by 26 to the Titans. They then beat the Cardinals by 1. Lost by 10 to the Raiders. Oh, and here we go. Lost by 18 to the Patriots. So in 50% of the last 6 weeks, the Titans have lost by this number and failed to cover. Colts are nothing here. That's the play.
Yeah, I'll keep mine really short so we could move on. What do the Colts do? Cover against the Titans. AFC South flow chart at its best. Best team in the league, maybe statistically right now, worst team in the league. I don't care that it's 14.5. The Titans are historically bad. I kind of wish they would have like a relegation bowl, Jets v. Titans. Loser goes to the UFL. But anyway, yeah, Colts will win. Maybe it'll be an over game. The last game they scored 60 points, so maybe you look to the over. But yeah, Colts are nothing. Colts are nothing.
How do you feel about Tyler Warren in this game?
Yeah, National Tight Ends Day, get a touchdown. I could see it.
Good, because he's plus 110. Last 5 receiving yards, 38, 70, 44, 63, 69. 60 yards, minus 105. It's close. I like it. I'd hit the over. But by the way, we have 3 tight end anytime touchdowns for a touchdown round robin or touchdown parlay. So we got a couple games left. We can keep it going. We only have 2 left, though. So
yeah. Okay.
All right. Sunday night football. It is the Pittsburgh Steelers, Acrisure Stadium, taking on the Green Bay Packers. The Steelers will be wearing their 30s throwbacks jerseys. I don't really know what to make of them. Doesn't look like the colors have changed much, but Green Bay 4-1-1, laying 3, minus 165. Steelers are plus 140 at home. 45.5 is the total. Mansman, is this another goddamn Tomlin spot, or are we changing pace?
Yeah, Tomlin is an underdog. The Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Sunday night football. We know what Aaron Rodgers is on Sunday night. I haven't bet it. I haven't done it yet. There's one of my best bets missing. This team has pissed me off. They almost screwed me last week, squeaking out a win against the bullshit Cardinals team with their backup quarterback. They haven't covered 5 straight on the road. Fade of the week. I am fading the Green Bay Packers. Give me Aaron Rodgers, Mike Tomlin as home underdogs on Sunday Night Football against the Packers.
Love it. We could give out all the Tomlin stats about him coming off a loss, home underdog, recency bias stat, the losing team coming off of Thursday Night Football the week before. So Tomlin with extra rest as well. But this year especially, teams coming off the Thursday Night Football loss, 5-1 straight up, 5-1 to the over. These teams tend to lose, and then they tend to bounce back strong, and they tend to bounce back and win. I don't want to say hand over fist, but they tend to score. They tend to show up. At home, Sunday Night Football, Rodgers revenge game. This almost was my dog of the week. But I like the Niners a little bit more in the spot. There's a world where I think the Packers could come out and win this one, especially if the Steelers defense lays another egg like they did last week against the Bengals. But no, this is the spot. I think Green Bay hasn't covered as a big favorite as it is. This is the same argument I had for Denver. What has Green Bay showed you? They should be covering any points at this point other than winning. You want to bet them to win? Sure, but why are you going to bet them as like anything more than 2.5 or 3? Like, why would you? They haven't covered it against Arizona. I don't think they covered it the week before when they played hold on, who did they play week 6? Cincinnati. They didn't cover 14.5 against Joe Flacco. And now they're a road favorite again. I don't get it. I don't want to say wrong team favored, but yeah, I can't back it. So I'm all the way with Pittsburgh on this one. Freiermuth stats, thoughts, comments, concerns.
Tucker Kraft or Tyler Kraft. I forgot his first name. Tucker Kraft, add him to the tight end prop. I think in October he's very good. And I think he scored touchdowns in the last 2 games. He's their touchdown guy. National Tight Ends Day. Tucker Kraft.
Like that.
Yeah, 4 straight touchdowns in October games. So he's been the October touchdown man.
Love it. Love that. All right. Over under plays here. I got the over 45.5 again. I'm just following the Thursday Night Football trend. Green Bay's defense not really as good as we're used to. Micah Parsons really underperforming this year. And I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have to throw a lot. I don't think they're going to be able to get the run game going too much, but I don't know. I've seen crazier things. But no, this is just trusting the spot with Tomlin. There's nothing further. Oh, boy. Monday Night Football. The Kansas City Chiefs. Once again, on Monday Night Football, they are taking on the Washington Commanders, a.k.a. the Commies, a.k.a. the football team.
Washington Redskins, go yourself.
And they are catching 12.5 on the road, just like the Raiders. They're plus 550 money line. Chiefs are minus 800. 48 is the total. This is the other Ronald special that we have on this week's slate of games. The Commanders lost by 22 last week. They failed to cover the spread by 21. They're catching 12.5. And even though it's Mariota, he's had a whole week to prepare. Mansman, do you think the Commanders can keep it close against Patrick Mahomes?
It's really the question. I think Kansas City wins. I don't know. I mean, it's tough. This is one I want to think out loud. I mean, Kansas City for a while this would be a smash spot on the Commanders because they just didn't cover games big. But when you look at some of the games they've been winning, 13 points against Detroit at home, 17 points against Baltimore at home. They just literally put the Raiders out to pasture, and they beat the Giants by 13 points. So they're not winning the 3 and 6 point games that we're used to seeing the Chiefs win anymore. If anything, they're losing the close games. They lost close to Jacksonville, close to Philly, close to the Chargers. So, I would say if you think the Chiefs are going to win, they haven't won by less than 13 points all year. Probably going to cover 10, 11 and a half. So with that, I think the Chiefs. I think this is, speaking of National Tight Ends Day, Travis Kelce on that week always seems to get a touchdown.
You would think. I'm a little hesitant, though. There's a player I think I like more, and I don't know if it's because of the odds or if it's because I just don't trust the Chiefs here. And by the way, my spread pick, I'm going 12.5 with the Commanders. I have a tight end play that I kind of like more, and maybe it's recency bias. Zach Ertz, 2 weeks in a row, has scored. And with Marcus Mariota, he scored in 50% of his games with him. And he's plus 240.
I like it. I like it.
So we could throw both in, I guess, but Kelce minus 110, he's only scored in one game, or Zach Ertz.
I like Ertz. I just suggested Kelce because he always seems to score on National Tight Ends Week.
You know what? We'll do both. We could do both.
Yeah, do both. Throw it in a round robin. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so. An over-under plays here for Chiefs. I got over 48. Although I think it's going to be because Commanders' defense is bad, but I think the Chiefs just... My thinking is that they're going to play close. It's going to be like Jacksonville. This over-under is going to come down to the wire. And I have a weird, fishy feeling that backdoor covers could be in play. Over-under backdoor could be in play.
I don't see Washington getting skunked in this game.
See, I thought that, but they literally just did that to the Raiders. And I don't think the Commanders are as bad as the Raiders. So I think the Commanders will put up more of a fight. And there's no way this line is telling me that the Commanders with Mariota is the same as this Raiders team. Like, I refuse to believe that. I'm not saying they're great, but they're not on the same level of bad. So I think it'll be close, but all right, let me get this, or tell you what, are you still in Survivor or are you
I am out.
Oh, you're out. All right, contest plays. Money Man's been top 5.
Right, so I got to go with my 3. I got to go with my 3 best bets. So I'm going to go with New England -7.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Niners plus points, depending on where you go, 1.5, 2.5. I'm going to go with the Steelers plus the 3. I'm going to go, I like this team, the Falcons, -7.5. The last one's kind of hard. I think there are a few options. For my 5th play, I think I'm going to go Giants +7.
Gotcha. My top 5, Buffalo -7. Give me San Francisco +2. Give me Pittsburgh +3. New England -7. And I need one more. Cincy -6. Don't take the Jets. Don't do it. Oh, you know what?
No, you should take the Jets and whoever it is they're starting at quarterback.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Oh boy, round robin. All right, I'm going to give you the 7 legs I put in. You let me know if you want to add or subtract or do whatever. Dalton Kincaid, 2-1. Goddard, plus 145. Tyler Warren, plus 110. Tucker Kraft, plus 125. Kelsey, minus 110. Zach Ertz, 2-1. George Kittle, plus 165.
Oh, you added Kittle. I like that. Yeah. Okay. I like it.
All right. You want to do 3s or 4s? Or 2s?
What's 3?
20. So $40 to win 1,000.
What about 4s?
30 to win 21.
2100.
So 15 each.
What do you want to do?
Well, I'm trying to think. I think 3s.
3s? Okay.
I think
20
3s. What's 10 each? Which would be, so to do 3s with 20, it would be 20 to win 500.
10 each.
What do you think?
And we'll probably have even if we get 4 out of 7, we'll probably break even, if not make money.
Okay.
All right. 10 each?
10 each.
Okay.
All right, I'll lock it in.
All right. I'll cash out.
Okay. All right. That's done. Okay.
Done.
My other top plays, Bijan, 140 scrimmage yards, plus 107. Jalen Hurts, 210 passing yards, 100 plus 100 even. Niners plus 115. Steelers plus 3. And Bo Nix 3 touchdowns, 3-1. Bo Nix plus 250 passing yards, even money.
Nice.
What other? I'm trying to think. Any other props I played? Oh, I did play Cleveland under 16.5 team total. And I do have a DGen parlay that I think I have some other props in. Oh, that's right. Tua. There was a Tua prop I wanted to show you. Tua, and I think like 17 straight road games, has thrown for 200 yards. He's plus 106 right now.
I want no part of it against this Falcons pass defense. No
Fair enough.
part of it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. How do you feel about Panthers under 19.5?
That would involve our defense getting stops. I don't know.
All right, fair enough. All right, I got nothing left. That's it.
No,
for the show.
me neither. We could end it a few minutes earlier than we normally do.
Works for me, buddy. All right, thank you guys for listening to us. Make sure you check us out at the Distinguished DGens on YouTube. I'm Steve Big Bucks Abeta.
Money Management signing off.
Have a good night and make that motherfucking money, DGents.